Ah, so you reach the end of the first season, and what a season it has been. It is fitting your tale should find an interlude here, at a crossroads of trust, death, and resurrection beneath the ever-watchful shadow of old empires and older hungers. Allow me, Leisel, ancient sister to Emperor Eledain, to recount, in my own words, the next and most fateful gathering in your saga. It all began in a quiet room above Outskirt's 3 stags, the shutters closed, conspiratorial voices low. Leanara, formerly Anabella, shed the last of her disguise and made her intentions clear. The Truth Society wants your help in gathering Eledain's lost statuette pieces, not for power, but for safekeeping, for scholarship, for the people. 50 pieces of gold for each piece recovered, and your names etched in the quiet records of preservation rather than conquest. She even marked the next likely location, Bothild's Lode, far down in the southwest Kummer Range. But your appetites for knowledge were not yet sated. Leanara, perhaps emboldened by your confidence or simply unable to resist sharing a good story, told you a secret whispered on the roads, that goblins are no true folk at all, but a sort of sly ambulatory fungus. Their fruit, that bright red lozenge they sometimes hawk, carries spores. Eat it, and you do not thrive. You die, and from your ruined carcass springs a fresh clutch of goblins. Be wary, she warned, of gifts too freely given. Business first, always in the gaze of history's old gods. In the town square beneath Eledain's eroded likeness, and before a gathering of townsfolk, you met Alphilia and her fellow dragon knights. The exchange was tense, ceremonial. Dragon knightly armor and sword returned to their order, passed over into a pine box shaped like a coffin, to be carried north beyond Outskirt's walls. For your pain, and perhaps your prudence, you received studded leather, a sharp new dagger, and a bag heavy with gold coin. The dragon knights departed, and for a few moments at least, you stood less encumbered by curses, and by old debts. Word and coin spent, appetites sated, you journeyed south and west, through wild hills and lonely forest, until you reached the raw-toothed mine of Bothild's Lode. You bested the wilds and feasted on elk, unaware how dearly you would pay for that brief comfort. Reconnaissance revealed goblins, gobos, as you so fondly call them, lurking above murder holes. Platy took the brunt, a pot of steaming stew scoring flesh and pride alike. Broche fared better, but soon after, his own blundering alerted the entire warren. Death in a stew pot was one thing, a proper massacre another. Instead, by guile and gold, you negotiated your way deeper, buying a parley with Maladuke, the infamous orc chieftain. You learned quickly you were not the only seekers. Cultists of Sathmog, the Dragon Knights, Maladuke's own goblin host, and now you, all in pursuit of the same scattered relic. Maladuke offered an uneasy alliance, aid for you, in exchange for the death of the White Death, the gigantic serpent that haunted the depths, unleashed by Bothild herself during a long-ago mining catastrophe. At Maladuke's suggestion, you sought wisdom from Bothild, whose spectral form lingered still. She was blunt, jaded, and above all bored. But enough dwarven pride flickered in her to share this. Bait the beast from its lair with freshly cooked meat. A boar's head, liberated from Maladuke's own cookfire, became your grisly lure. Then, down the chain, into the black water glimmer shaft. And the beast arose, pale, ancient, and ravenous. It was a slaughter. Platy perished, swallowed whole. Broche was battered and nearly drowned. Bramsey, having learned the beast might be made to destroy itself by attacking its tail, fought desperately but was mortally wounded and died on the very threshold of escape. Broche alone staggered clear, as the White Death, thrashing and crazed, began to devour itself, torn by wounds both self-inflicted and suffered. When it finally died, the cavern was quiet, but for the sound of Platy's body, unceremoniously spat onto the stone. The aftermath was sobering. Alone, Broche was summoned to Maladuke's chamber, the remains of his friends arrayed before him. She was not sentimental, but neither was she without her own sense of reward and pragmatism. Summoning her grandmother, a shaman of evident power and greater cost to herself, Maladuke saw to it that Platy, Bramsey, and Brosh were returned to life, though such magic always extracts a price, seen or unseen. She made you a final promise and a warning. Trust no one else with the statuette pieces, not the truth seekers, not the dragon knights, and certainly not the cultists of Sathmog. There is another piece, she disclosed, hidden in the dread place called Korashbal, a gateway to Sathmog's demon-haunted realm. Trust is a rare coin and costly, but a gift like returned life is not easily denied or repaid. Maladuke hopes you are, from this day forward, her allies in deed and not in name only. And so, with hearts heavy, pockets full, and trust newly minted, or perhaps merely rented, Season 1 closes in darkness, hope, and uncertainty. You have seen death. You have bargained with orc warlords, parleyed with ghosts, and braved the White Death's maw. The stakes grow only higher. As ever, I watch from my hidden tower. The game is paused, not ended, and the shadows of Emperor Eledain, of the sword Umdurman, and of awakened demons all gather just beyond the next torchlit step. Rest well, adventurers. Season 2 awaits.